everybody. It is Saturday morning. It is Multifamily Unplugged. Wake up, go wake somebody up, stick a cup of coffee in their hand, and sit back, buckle up. We are in for a treat today. Hey, my guest today, we talked the first time a couple of months ago, and you ever just kind of like really hit it off with somebody and connect with someone, and that's kind of what we did. We just had a good time on the phone. And we've been trying to get here on Saturday morning for the last couple of months. And one thing's led to another, my travel, her travel, people being sick, air flights, so good news is that we're finally here this morning. So we'll bring her on in a minute. But I just want to ask you about your intentions, right? I always talk about intentionality. What are you doing this weekend? What have you done this week? And the thing that I thought about this week is here we are in the, deep in the second quarter of the year already, almost at the end. And what were the goals that you set? What did you set out to achieve this year? How are you doing? Are you on track? Are you being held accountable? Is somebody holding you accountable to your activities, to your actions, to accomplishing your goals? Well, I always tell people, I say, look, if you can find someone who's going to hold you accountable and not allow you to stumble along the way and help encourage you and to keep you moving forward, you're going to grow. And the goal with each of our businesses is to grow percentage every year, right? They say if you grow 1% a day at the end of the year, it's well over 300% that you've grown, right? So how do we keep doing that? So be intentional about your activities. Maybe this weekend it's time with the family or around the house, or maybe you're still working like me. So, just be intentional about what you're doing. If you're new to the show, welcome. Glad that you're here this morning. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. We are bringing out new content every day, all the time, trying to continue to educate you, continue to give you new ideas, new thoughts about your business, how to move your business forward. If you are on social media, follow us, like us, love us. Again, always have some content out there that's going to benefit you. And if you're out on Facebook, join our Facebook group, Multifamily Unplugged. Multifamily Unplugged always is going to keep you abreast of upcoming events that we have, whether they're webinars or live events or meetup in Chicago, or the Saturday Morning Live or the other podcasts that we do. So love to interact with you. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. And if I can help, I will. So my guest today is Sue Huff. Sue is from Chicago, Arlington Heights, a suburb of Chicago. She's a builder developer doing some projects in Nashville, Tennessee. Let me bring Sue in. Hey, Sue, good morning.
Good morning, Mike. How are you today?
Great. I'm fine. I'm so glad that we finally got to get here, right?
It is. It's been an effort, but thank you for having me. We'll start off by saying that, and also I just want to say your motivational emails are just fabulous. I do try to be intentional, but I see them in my inbox and I'm just like, oh, I've got to up my game just a little bit. And I listen. Thank you for sharing those emails with us.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That's nice to hear. Thanks. And, like I said, you and I got on the phone the first time, and I don't know, somebody connected us. I think, this goes to relationships, right? I think
Yes.
that relationships are so important, but somebody connected us. I think, I don't know if it was just to connect or get you on a podcast or what it was, but, we kind of just like your energy and your spirit and what you're doing was something that I thought, geez, my audience needs to hear from you. So I'm glad that you're here.
Mike, may I correct you on one thing? I'm not in Nashville. I'm in the Gatlinburg area.
Oh.
Just so our guests know that I'm a little bit further east than the Nashville area, although it's beautiful over there as well.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know where I came up with Nashville.
It's okay.
I thought we were just talking about it before. So, but
I think I was looking at, I love Nashville, and perhaps that came up in a conversation.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. That's probably where you fly in and out of too, right?
I have flown in and out of Nashville, yes. And then I fly in and out of Knoxville and Charlotte. I'll take whatever airport will have me.
Midway or O'Hare?
I'm out of O'Hare because I'm from the north. I'm coming out of Arlington Heights.
So what do you fly out of O'Hare? What airline?
I hate to say this. I am an Expedia person, so it's usually United or American.
Okay.
Who's ever offering me a direct route, although because it's not always direct. Sometimes I end up just grabbing a car and driving a couple of hours, few hours.
Yeah. Interesting. So, so Sue, the first question I always like to ask my guests is, in one word, what best describes you personally and professionally?
I would have to think I would say creative. My daughters might pick a different word, but I'm going to go with creative.
Our kids probably always would pick a different word. What makes you creative?
Well, in the truest sense, if you're a builder developer, there is it's almost artistic. I'm looking at a 120 piece of acre land, and I can see where the homes are going to go. I have to see that, but I think more creative wise is thinking outside of the box. As an entrepreneur, as a builder developer, and in real estate, we constantly have to think of, well, how do I make this work to my advantage? How can I get this to work? And as an entrepreneur, it's the big question of the day is, okay, this isn't working. What do I need to change, and how do I get this back on track? Or how do I need to approach this differently to make it work?
Yeah.
So that's creative. It's always just thinking outside of the box.
Yeah. Hey, remember that old Taco Bell commercial? Think outside the box.
Oh, good my gosh, you're right. So thank you, Taco Bell.
Yeah, right. Exactly. What a great concept that was. But I agree, you have to think differently than everybody else to do what we do, right? To
Right.
bring a good offering, to raise capital, to do something in the marketplace, I think you have to think differently. You and I were talking before the show, and I have a new property in Tulsa that we're doing. And when we brought that to the market, we had one return that we were projecting. Well, yesterday I spent, a couple hours on the phone with a contractor. I got my pricing down on my rehab work substantially, and it substantially increased the return that my investors are going to see. And that, I think, really goes to thinking outside the box.
Congratulations for doing that, Mike, because that's really what what this is always all, that's the crux of being effective and being profitable in real estate, is looking at something and saying, okay, what can I do to make this more advantageous, more profitable, whatever that more is. And, sometimes it's, hanging around with some people and you get a crazy idea and you're like, that really, really works.
Yeah.
And that's, the development I'm at right now. This is my baby over here. It's Moody Moon Ridge. And to find a piece of land, I had a concept of what I wanted to do, but sometimes it's the land will dictate what you're going to do, especially as a builder in this region, because you might have some areas that aren't buildable because of the ridge is too high or this or that. So it's looking at it saying, okay, it hits the top 3 boxes. Now, how do I make this work? Who are my clients, and what will my clients really want? And I'm hoping it's a home run. I think it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, good. It sounds like it's going to be for you. So
yeah.
Well, talk about your background a little bit. What's your story, your history? How'd you get to what you're doing today?
My story is I started rehabbing homes well before even the internet, before anybody was talking about it. There was back in 1995. Found a little home down the street from where we lived. It came on this was back when banks didn't want foreclosed properties because they were a thorn in their side. So they used to unload those for pennies on the dollar. I'm sure you remember that, Mike. And those were the glory days.
Yeah.
And
sure.
and that's kind of how it started. I had a couple of two of the 3 girls were born, and they were little, and I had a job downtown Chicago that required about 60 hours a week, and I wanted to be home with my girls. So I would do my little work at night after they were fed, and everybody was happy. And I learned to rehab a house back in 1995. It turned out to be percentage wise an incredibly profitable deal, and I think the hook was set. So one thing led to another, and just I love the construction portion. So I kept building on that, developing that, finding some really great people to work with and for, and here I am. I don't even know how many. Oh my gosh, it's almost 30. Is it almost 30 years? Holy cow! Oh my gosh. Okay, can I say almost 20 years? I mean, I'll just say that.
It was a while ago, because I remember I first got in real estate in the early 90s, right?
Yes.
Right after interest rates went from being like high double digits, to they started coming down and gradually came down. I can remember being in the business saying, man, interest rates are 9%, 10%.
Yeah.
And people going, oh, my parents have an interest rate for 3%. They're so high, and now look at it, right?
Oh
Kind of
yeah.
whole cycle has turned again. So
We bought a 3-flat in Fox River Grove, and same thing. The rates were coming down, and we were at 7.9. And I remember looking at my husband and going, it can never go lower than this. This is the greatest, because we had well qualified buyers were 12, 13, 14% just a couple of years before then, and going, oh, we're going to jump on 7.9. This is phenomenal.
I love the people today that are complaining about 5 and 6%, though. It's like,
right.
Why complain about it? Here's what we know is it will change. It always will change, So, so talk about your project. It sounds very interesting. Moody Moon Ridge.
Yes.
I'm assuming it's on a ridge looking over something, valley, mountains, something.
Well, you're good. And it's all you hit it all. I'm in just outside of Gatlinburg, building a 25 unit subdivision out here, and it's got some lifestyle themes to it. It's 120 acres, so other than the first 6 lots,
pressure toilets, providing a solid return on an annual basis that outperforms traditional investing, also receiving a monthly or quarterly return along the way. These lower risk and secure assets are a great hedge against inflation. If you want to learn more about these types of opportunities, you can email me directly to schedule a 15-minute consultation to see if you qualify. Just email me at mike@mikemorawski.com.
Oh, Tennessee, it is. This was my first year living here, and from construction. So I've been in construction, 25 years. And, we're used to, okay, by December 15th, it's usually over. You can't count on doing outside work. And that usually doesn't change until could be end of February, mid-March. That's what we kind of, that's not the case here. The average, in January, you're working through it. You're in the 40s, maybe low 50s in the middle of January. It's just beautiful. I miss the snow. I'm going to say I'll miss a day or two of snow. That would be about it. And to be back here. And the summers, Chicago, people don't realize how Chicago gets really hot in the summer and humid. Now, granted, it's hot and humid here, but it's a different kind of heat. I don't know how to explain it. It's not as oppressive, even though the Appalachian Mountains are technically in a rainforest.
Yeah.
It's not as oppressive as it is in Chicago. Maybe it has to do with all the concrete and asphalt. I don't know.
I remember this is years ago. I'm really pressing my age now, but I remember years ago I had a buddy who moved to Memphis, and it was like in February or end of February, early March, something like that. And I drove to Memphis. And I can remember the change in the climate. It was like my first time I really had experience going from the cold in Chicago. And all of a sudden, by the time I got to Memphis, we were in T-shirts and shorts for the week. I was like, this is crazy. So, it is. I know that there are places that it's a lot more attractive from a weather standpoint. And obviously that's where you're building. So uh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that is absolutely true. And we're only 45 minutes from Knoxville, which has some of the best medical, some great medical facilities. And it's really, Tennessee is, it's not that old stereotype. It's changed. It's beautiful here.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you had mentioned that you had a house for 800,000. Is that your average price point on your semi-custom stuff there?
So the largest home that we have, we're going to be offering 4 models. 3 of them are available now, and we're doing multifamily. I'm introducing townhomes to this area. They're not used to townhomes, condos, yes. So I think it's going to be a great market for that as well. But for single family homes, we have 3 models. We're building the largest one now at 3150, and that the starting price on that is 899,000. That comes with about 2 acres, fire pit, hot tub, 4 bedrooms plus an office, huge loft, 3.5 bathrooms, and more importantly than anything, you sit on the front porch and you're just overlooking the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah, and it sounds like that product with fire pit and hot tub and
Mhm.
landscaping done and things like that might be over a million in the Chicago market.
Oh, it definitely would be. I mean, it'd be well over a million. I mean, depending on what neighborhood you're in, what
Sure.
area, but even in Gatlinburg, that particular home would be selling for about 1.3, 1.4 million.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh yeah, the downtown Gatlinburg area is really through the roof. That's kind of why I've moved out to the fringe a little bit, where rental markets are still really high. We have a third-party appraisal at $9,000 a month for the first home, adjusted for seasonality and seasonality and the downtimes, and it's still coming in at 9,000 a month
Wow. That's
with
awesome.
almost no real estate taxes in brand new construction. You pretty much know the first 5 to 7 years it's going to be maintenance free.
Yeah.
So from an investment standpoint, it's a really great investment. Plus we have a lot of development going on just a few minutes from us in the Hartford area that really has been blooming.
Has the market been affected by the you know uh, macro market? Are you affected by interest rates, or are people buying houses?
The market here is still incredibly strong. Uh, Last year there was a slowdown a little bit, I think, almost nationwide because people were not sure how high those interest rates were going. Now we see that they're creeping up a little bit. They're not bad. The market here, there's still no inventory. The inventory backlog, I think, is almost a year right now still. And their quality builders is you're going to be waiting a year and a half to get a good builder. So given the fact I'm bringing a lot of skill with me, skilled tradesmen from the city of Chicago out
Oh,
here. Oh no, I am. Yeah. So we're building Chicago quality, nice quality homes with beautiful millwork and some really nice appointments and things like that out here in the Gatlinburg area. So I think, it's going to be amazing.
well, I have to imagine that if you've been doing this 25 years, you probably have some good, solid relationships with
Oh yes.
subcontractors that, and you're actually transporting them there to do work for you.
Some of them are coming with, and I've made some great relationships here already. I've built a few homes for some, actually, for a couple of friends, and making some great relationships here with some wonderful people, and it's going great so far. I
Good.
mean, we had our first home that was framed up April 26th, and already have rough electric going in. As a matter of fact, it's going on in the background. So we'll be ready to sell. I mean, the home will be complete and ready by Labor Day. And
Wow.
second home, we're starting in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and this is Memorial Day weekend coming up.
I know. But in
Ooh,
this area, there's so much tourists. I'm not going anywhere this weekend. This is just where where everybody goes on the holidays. So
Do people go to Gatlinburg for the holiday then? So it's kind of a destination area, is what I'm
Yeah.
hearing.
It really is. So Gatlinburg itself gets about, I think, 22 million visitors a year.
Wow.
It's an almost entirely tourism.
So what's the big attraction there?
Smoky Mountains. So
Okay.
the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. We're just a few miles away from the north entrance. They get 17 million visitors a year. It's really just beautiful here. Gatlinburg is similar to, if you're not familiar with it, now it's very touristy. It's similar to almost the Wisconsin Dells, although Dollywood is out here. They do a lot of zip lining. They do just a lot of tourist attractions, especially in the downtown area. It's not necessarily my cup of tea, but that's why I'm here.
That's great. It sounds like a lot of fun. So let's talk. Do you raise capital for your projects, or are all your projects, does somebody come in and buy a house, or are you spec building? How are you doing it?
Everything, all of the above. So yes,
Okay.
I do have a group of investors that are on this project. We needed to purchase land, do some infrastructure, get things ready to build, and the first couple of model homes. And so though I do have some investors for that, and I was able to raise some capital, as well as we have a nice line of credit from a family office, from some private money as well. So a lot of that is together. Selling the homes, we're selling home packages to buyers, whether it's their primary residence or their investors, and they will be, funding the rest of their through a construction loan, or we also offer in-house financing as well. So we can do a lot of things.
Nice.
We're pretty flexible out here.
Yeah, that's good. So one of the questions I wanted to circle back on was on the townhouses you're going to build, that product.
Mhm.
What's the square footage on those?
Those are much smaller. I believe you've caught me off guard, Mike. I believe they're only 16 or 1700 square feet. So they're 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, and an office and living room, dining room. We're building quads. We're building 8 of those, kind of to test the waters. Not into, I think they're going to go well because price point, I'm thinking of marketing those in the mid to upper 4s.
Okay.
I think so. That's a little bit of a different buyer. That's also giving people that are maybe newer investors opportunity that, to come in that aren't able to buy something, between 8 and 900,000 or 750. And I think it also will give an opportunity for people that live in the area a lot of buying power too. Something that they don't have an opportunity for right now.
Yeah, nice. That's good.
And we have great amenities here too. I mean, swimming pool, common building. We'll have pavilions, fire pits throughout. A lot of great amenities.
So it's a nice planned unit development.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it is.
Very good. How long did it take you to develop the whole thing and get the concept all on paper and permits and ready to go?
Oh, well, that's why I'm building where I'm building. We don't need permits. Believe it or not, because everything's being developed on over 5 acres.
Another advantage to being outside Chicago.
It is. I did not have to do a PUD. And you ask how long did it take to develop? Well, myself, project manager, my site plan manager, we just I knew what I wanted to do. We sat down a few times on sheets of paper and planned it out over the surveys that we had. And we subdivided the land by 5-acre parcels and figured out where I was fitting things in. So, not as long as it would take in Chicago. We're going to say that a fraction of the time. And it was actually fun because it was more like, oh, this would look great here and this would look great there. And that's what we did.
Yeah, nice. It's good when you have that eye for that design, and that a lot too. So then it makes it easier to jump through those hoops. So, hey, I want to thank you for being here today. As we start to wind this down, I always have a couple questions I ask people. So, what is the best book you've ever read?
So, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F.
Yeah.
Yes, by Mark Manson. It's not the best, but I think it's the one that tied with, um, oh my goodness. My brain just kind of, I had a brain fart right there. The Man's Search for Meaning is another great book that I've read. Those are two, yeah. It's by Viktor Frankl.
That's a great book. I've heard a lot about the other one though too. So nobody's actually ever said that though, that's been their favorite read. So that's good.
I love it. For me, it worked.
How about your favorite tourist attraction?
Oh, right. Well, it's not a tourist attraction, but you know, Eastern Tennessee, Smoky Mountains.
Okay.
Always will be. I hike at least once or twice a week.
That's a tourist attraction for sure.
Oh, it is. Yeah, the Great Smoky Mountain National Park is my favorite place.
Wow, that's cool. And then best restaurant.
Oh, wow. My favorite restaurant. It's going to be in Chicago. I'm going to say that because if anything, Chicago has phenomenal food. Yeah. I will. It used to be Zia's, but they closed right after COVID. And that's where I'm like drawing a blank because they were my favorite restaurant.
That was downtown Arlington Heights, wasn't it?
No, Zia's was our downtown Edison Park.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Mike, I'm so sorry. I can't think right now. I'm drawing a blank, and there's so many great restaurants in Chicago.
Yeah, always around breakfast time too. It's hard to decide.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I will say one of my favorite restaurants with the most memories on it was Ed DeBevick's. Even though it's not the greatest food, it was just a really, really, it's a fun place to go and see. And I used to take my girls there when they were little, and we would have the time of our life at Ed DeBevick's. So I'll shoot for Ed DeBevick's because my brain is just farting.
There's a Ed DeBevick's moved, right? It's not.
No.
So it moved from that corner. Somebody bought that corner on Ontario, and I'm not sure what the cross street was, Wells or something there.
Okay.
But they moved to down in, I want to say the River North neighborhood, and I can't think of the name of this. It's like off of Rush and Wabash, somewhere right around there. But okay. I went there. The point is, I went there just recently, and it was nothing like the old one.
Oh no!
I think the atmosphere changed, right? So they kind of tried to keep the same theme and all the same stuff, but I don't know, it was just different. It was weird, but I used to like Ed DeBevick's too. I used to love to go there with my kids and let them get a hard time from the wait staff. Yeah. And it was always fun.
Oh, don't tell me Morton's is gone. Really, because I'm feeling very dated right now. Everything I'm picking is gone. Is Morton's still
Morton's is still around. So.
Okay, all right. That's good.
My favorite steakhouse, though.
Which is your favorite?
I went to a place called Perry's the other day.
Where?
Right by Woodfield, by the Hyatt on Gulf Road.
Okay.
And I was really impressed with the cut of meat and the service and everything. It was an interesting environment. So
I'll have to try that because Woodfield's really close. When I get back to Arlington Heights, I'll be there end of June.
Oh, okay. Well, look me up. Let's have a cup of coffee or something.
I would love that, Mike.
Yeah,
love to meet you in person.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, listen, thanks for being here. How do people get a hold of you or find out more about your project?
You can email me. It's sue@augustlimited.com or go to the website, moodymoonridge.com.
Awesome. Hey, Sue, I'm going to move you out. Say goodbye to everybody. If you hang out in the back room, we'll just kind of recap real quick.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks you
for being here. Hey, everybody. That was a fun interview this morning. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a little bit of knowledge about maybe a different market, a different place. And the one thing Sue said, man, is just think outside the box, right? I think if we all look at things from a different lens, from a different point of view, we get a different result, right? I continually say, I'm the what if guy. How many, you got to ask, what if this was in a different place, or what if this market was different or changed? And the other thing Sue talked about was that she's got great sales going on. It's a great market. Taxes are good, and interest rates aren't bothering anybody. So if you are a home buyer, an investor looking for an opportunity, that might be something for you to explore. Thanks for being here. Please follow us on social media, like us, love us on whatever platform you choose for yourself. We're here every Saturday morning, Multifamily Unplugged. If I can answer any questions or be of help to you at all, don't hesitate to reach out. And if you're on Facebook, join our Facebook community and participate with some of the things going on there. That's